So you're saying he has been keeping his own side of the bargain?
Yes.
If he has been, then why are the markets nervous? Why are these rumors that there's a default, the Greek default is imminent? Where did these rumors start from?
Esther, there is a wide variety between, there's a wide variation between expectation and reality. The reality now is that the market is going through a series of tough changes that are not popular at home. The expectation from investors is that this thing should be solved overnight like magic. If it's not solved, they will price in on the reality of the market. So we have to still acknowledge the fact that the reality now in Europe is that Europe is in deep shit.
Okay, well, hopefully they would come out of it. Of course, it's a developing story and something, and a development that we're definitely tracking here. Now, let's look at another big event. Let's move away from the Eurozone to the U.S. now. Of course, I'm sure you remember President Obama's job speech, the much widely anticipated job speech that came and went. The market priced it in, and the market seemed to have moved on. Now, over 477 billion US dollars is what he's proposing. Infrastructure, of course, investments in infrastructure, building more schools and railway, transportation system, tax cuts, and some other incentives to help boost the economy.
I totally agree with the proposal of President Obama. When you look at the fact that big banks, HSBC, Bank of America, and so many other financial institutions in Europe and in America are cutting down thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs in the banking industry, you just come back to the truth in America, which is the SBA says that in the last 20 years, small businesses have created 85% of jobs in America. And his proposal in that $47 billion stimulus to give tax breaks to small businesses and middle-income earners and invest in new infrastructure, which is capital expenditure, it's an excellent idea. And, you know, I was so lulled recently when he came out and said that, okay, since Republicans are saying that, look, you know what, we're not going to increase tax on rich Americans, I'm going to come up with a creative solution. On the $2.9 trillion municipal bond markets in the U.S. for state and local governments, is saying that, look, I'm taking out tax exemptions. It's a creative way to pay for the expenditure that they are going to put in as a stimulus to get the markets back and create more jobs for Americans.
Now, okay, now if there's one thing the Republicans do not like to hear is tax increases. Many of them, before they came in, that was some of the promises they made to the electorate, that we will not raise taxes. Now, should they have embraced this deal immediately and passed it? I know there were still like some disagreements or criticisms in some quarters from the Republicans that they're not too comfortable with the package.
Well, objectively, I think Republicans are making more political decisions than economic decisions. Okay. I think the Republicans realize that it's barely 14 months to election. This is their strongest point right now. They have to fight Democrats to stand still. And they are saying, they are still insistent that they're not going to pass the bill. But I think at the long run, the president's approach of grassroots politics, of going back to Americans to call their senators and representatives in Congress to get the bill passed, to put pressure on these people instead of lobbying these representatives one-on-one in Capitol Hill, is the excellent way to go, and is going to get this JOB Act passed.
Now, is that one of the reasons why we're still seeing U.S. consumer confidence still on the downside? We're seeing consumer spending is still not as strong. We know that accounts for about 70% of the U.S. economy. If the consumers are not spending, then there's no economy.
Well, it's not really that people don't have purchasing power. It's that people are being careful and they're trying to save for the rainy day. People are still very skeptical about what the future holds. And if you realize that recently his approval rating has dropped significantly, currently 72% of Americans don't think the American economy is on the right course. It's a cause for concern, and it's a reason why consumer confidence is remarkably low.